Welcome to the Christopher Peter Review Podcast, an economic perspective on salient current events. Welcome to the CRC Perspective, part of the Christopher Peter Review. In our blog, we briefly discuss the recent revelations coming from the Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, who revealed to America allegations that the approval for the whole origin of what turned out to be the Russian stolen election hoax of 2016 was then President Barack Obama. All too often in our political discourse, the Democratic Party projects accusations on their political opponents for behaviors that they are actually doing or deflecting attention from their actions onto their political opponents. The part of the whole ordeal that we already knew was that the self-proclaimed defenders of our democracy paid for a dossier that was baseless and used that paid document as the basis for the whole Russian interference and influence hoax in 2016. We know that intelligence experts could not verify or corroborate any of the information that they paid for. The new information that came out was allegedly the approval came from the very top, which kind of makes sense when you think of how something like this could happen without any knowledge by the person leading the executive branch. And this was not Joe Biden, who was not in full capacity. As expected, there is a political response from the media and the anticipated approach to try to laugh off and downplay the allegations. For the left, President Obama still is an important figure, despite the clear disconnect there seems to be with his political view and their current stances. So is this really a big deal, as not much can probably be done about it at this point? President Donald Trump already lowered the temperature of some people who are drooling with anticipation that President Barack Obama may be arrested and tried. But he was acting in the capacity of the office of the president, so he could explain it away under that premise, and it is technically legal, but nonetheless a bad act by a bad president. When I first heard the accusation, I wanted to give President Obama the benefit of the doubt, despite feeling that there was no way they would have gone that far without some form of approval or acknowledgement, and it seems like there was, and it trickled down the channel, as there was clear doubt in the legitimacy of the dossier. I think the end goal for those involved was to try to inhibit the first term of the Trump presidency, create a fabricated cloud of suspicion that they could operate their opposition campaign out of. People like Adam Schiff spent 2 years on CNN promising bombshells that never came, and we now know that they knew it would never come. There is Politico speak, where people make misleading or distorted statements for political purposes, but Democrats always take the approach of trying to shape the narratives that the public may view issues under, so they could not accept that with the accommodating media in hand, a massive financial advantage, and Trump's own inexperience and missteps that they could now win the election. They would never admit that Hillary Clinton and her views are generally unlikable. Like you see how they still try to make Stacey Abrams a political candidate. They cannot acknowledge defeat. There is always that deflection. Like the voters are not understanding the messaging or that the messaging is not clear. Only now are they opening their eyes a smidge to acknowledge that maybe it is the person in the mirror. But there is still that doubling down on denial. Sure, the Republicans supporting Trump did not look that great on January 6th, but fabricating evidence to waste 2 years of the federal government's time and resources is above reproach, just something that is shameful, and part of the foundation that has created the level of distrust in the party. Think big picture here for a moment. We just saw them manage the Joe Biden presidency by lying about his capacity, then switching to Kamala without any form of a modified nomination process that some people wanted, and see them now in the current environment put out statements that are proven false shortly afterwards, sometimes on the same day. So it is a pattern of behavior to try to fabricate narratives. That was their goal and they are still attempting it today. But more people are no longer buying it. People are starting to see just how biased on institutions have become and how they are operating purposefully under those biases to influence outcomes. The anti-Trump Democrats wanted to create an atmosphere that appeared chaotic. Some people bought it and believed the narratives. Many people started questioning the antics and patterned behaviors. Some others will ignore the clear evidence to support their biases and political hatred. I do think it is important that they made the information public. And now the public knows more that it really was the hoax that many claimed it was. From the special counsel report, it appeared to be a nothing burger, but once the allegations are out there, some will latch on even if the evidence does not prove it. A big thank you to all of you in the audience. Your viewership is appreciated and valued. Please follow the Christopher Peter Review on social media and continue to visit www.crcreview.com for new episodes. Thank you once again. Until next time.